So hello everyone, स्वागत है आपका. And the second list is out. The calls are still pouring in, and I cannot begin to share what immense joy it gives me to be sharing this very, very special interview with our 24th rank holder because he belongs to the same place that I do. And on that note, welcome, Tanishq. How are you? Very many congratulations, beta.
First of all, thank you, ma'am, and good evening. I'm pretty great,
All right. कैसा लग रहा है?
ma'am. Like it's a different feeling. Like it took a while to sink in, but now that it has, like it's always a great feeling to achieve what you have sought for. Like whenever any CLAT aspirant he starts preparing for the exam, all he thinks about is NL is hai. So after like seeing your hard work pay off, a very it's a very happy thing for me at least.
So the feeling is it feels more real now, right?
Yeah, it's very real now. So
All right, all right. You've made us very, very proud. And tell me about your journey, बेटा. आपने शुरुआत कैसे की and 10th के बाद आपने अपनी stream कैसे choose की and what motivated you कि मुझे CLAT के through NLU जाना है?
okay, so like for me, my I got to know about CLAT in sixth grade. My father told me ki if you want to pursue law, this is the exam CLAT. So if you know about it, it's better like as soon as you prepare. Like for in sixth, seventh, eighth, I was like karna hai, CLAT karna hai, but I was not sure. But when I entered ninth grade, and I read more of social sciences and like I was more enamored by that particular subject. Then I was like pretty sure कि अब law तो पक्का ही है. So then in 10th, I started looking, like my father told me, ki now it's time. Start looking for what you'll do, like which coaching you'll join, or if or not you want to join a coaching. So I started looking for coachings, and it was at that time I started watching the CR videos of Smriti ma'am and Law Preps channel. And like then I chose that I have to like that I'll pick law prep tutorial and I'll start my proper preparation from 11th grade. Like I was reading more and more GK in 10th grade because I like to. And I think that's what helped me in my 11th when my actual journey started in CLAT. In 11th, uh, as I joined the coaching, as our classes they went on, I really enjoyed the process. For me it was all the subjects were very interesting. First of all, GK was my favorite because I've always wanted to know more and more about what's going on in the world. Additionally, I also liked maths very much. And when I read more and more passages for CR and RC and legal, it I believe it helped me become a more have a more all-rounded knowledge. For me, the journey was pretty although it had its bumps, but it was pretty straightforward for me in 11th and grade after joining the coaching.
तो शुरुआत करने से पहले ही it was pretty sorted in your head कि आपको क्या करना है, कैसे approach करना है, and you know how to pursue the goal, right? So that's very good. तो फिर 10th के बाद आपने subjects क्या opt किए थे?
I opted for humanities because, as I told, I like social sciences, and like many people say that they help, and I really think now that I've given CLAT, I think taking humanities helps a bit because as you read more and more, uh, it becomes easier for CLAT, and I that because I've always liked law also, so like social sciences, humanities was more related to law. That's why I opted for this. Yeah.
All right. अब देखो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन का आंसर मुझे ऑलरेडी पता है बट यू नो इट क्रिएट्स अ डिफरेंट सॉर्ट ऑफ इम्पैक्ट फॉर आवर स्टूडेंट्स एंड आवर एस्पिरेंट्स एवरीवेयर. तो मुझे बताओ कि आपने न्यूज़पेपर कब पढ़ना स्टार्ट किया एंड व्हाट वाज योर अप्रोच रिगार्डिंग द न्यूज़पेपर रीडिंग?
Okay, so first of all, I like every CLAT aspirant knows it. Newspaper is literally the most important thing. The
बिल्कुल.
sooner you start reading it, it's the better. Like I started reading newspaper in uh, before grade ninth. I didn't like to read newspapers, but my father, he like one day he took we used to have the Indian Express in our home. So he put the paper in front of me, and he said ki start reading it if you want to like do good in CLAT, or if you want to like go do better in law as such, because newspaper reading in general is very important. And for me and like when I started preparation of my CLAT, I started reading. I like we subscribe to the Hindu also. It
Mhm.
comes in like, so we had both the newspapers, and I used to read both the Hindu and the Indian Express. And I believe that the Indian Express or the Hindu, any newspaper for that matter, it wholesomely covers each and every subject of our exam. uh, GK is obviously covered in like all whole of the newspaper, and it's newspaper is more it's, I believe, a stepping stone to making you a better reader. You don't like read about a single topic. It gives you an eclectic reading experience that you'll read about national, international sports, and about politics in general, and that's what our exam is. So when I used to read whole of the editorial, there are two pages, editorial and the ideas. So it was like a whole section for me, English CRRC or anything, that there are six passages on different topics, which I believe really helped me in my preparation.
That's a very holistic approach. And how were you reading the editorials? Were you doing note making for the same?
Okay, yeah, it's a very important thing. In our first class, Anupama ma'am told us कि when you read editorials, like just don't read it. Have a timer beside you, have I mean stopwatch or something, and take a notebook. And like when you read an editorial, start the timer and note your time. In the startings, I used to take, for the main editorial of the Hindu, I used to take around 8 or 9 minutes. And when you see the timing, it goes you to like finish it faster. That a timer is going on, I have to understand, I have to read the editorial as fast as I can. So because of that, my at the end of my preparation, I was able to do that main editorial in about 3.5 minutes or 4 minutes. And beside it, you have to the and I used to do one more thing, that when I'm done with reading the editorial, I'll not see the title of that editorial or the subheading. I'll after Immediately after reading the new editorial, I'll note down the title which I think should be of that editorial.
Hmm.
Then I'll write the main idea, what was author trying to convey, and then three strengthening arguments for the author's opinion, and three weakening arguments for against his argument, and the tone of the editorial as per se. So doing that for around, I used to read, I believe, 20 editorials per day. So doing that, it helped me in three of my sections, and I mean four, more like it, in a
Mhm.
legal CRRC. So that's how I think it helped me really well.
And it was such a strong strategy, and look how well it worked for you, right? Very
Yeah.
good. So now tell me about how did you approach the different subjects. Let's start with the CR first of all, logical reasoning.
Okay. The thing with CR is, in our mocks in general, uh, the marks we get in CR are very less. Like most of the students are very scared of CR.
Hmm.
But what we see in the CLAT exam, and what I had observed, that the CR section is pretty easy. Like it has been easy for the past 3 years. So I thought, when I was preparing, I always used to think that okay, I don't need to be scared of CR. I'll do like, first of all, I have to understand, not this in CR especially, not the sorry, my bad, specificities of that text, but what the author was saying. What was his argument? because the questions in CR are more of an argument based nature, and
Hmm.
they are like weakening, strengthening, conclusion. They're not specified ideas. Ki, what did the author say in this? So my approach to CR was it's more of a practice based approach. Like I used to do 6 passages of CR per day, from Monday to Friday. So it makes around 30 passages per week.
Hmm.
Um, and I also used to do one sectional test per week of CR. I had designated different days for different subjects, and according to me, nothing can get you better in CR than more and more practice itself.
Practice. Hmm.
So that was my approach to CR.
And what was your strategy regarding GK? Hmm.
Uh, like in GK, what I'd seen that the GK that comes in CLAT is pretty difficult, and if I may, it's not a general kind of GK that you get in IS exams or any other exam, which like have straightforward GKs, GK sections. So what first thing that we have to keep in mind is out of the 5 or 6 or 7 passages in GK, there's a high possibility that that a student may not know about at least 1 or 2 passage. So you don't have to put too many hopes on this particular section, and for that I believe for GK you have to uh, keep on reading more and more about more topics. Like used to do first of all newspaper, uh, a weekly roundup, monthly magazine of our coaching, that CLAT Express, which I believe like it has a pretty holistic approach to GK as such. It has all the topics, and nowadays, like in the previous 2 3 editions, they have also giving started giving us questions in it, which I believe it's very helpful. And in addition to it, Law Prep also used to provide. There was this CLAT booster which had a lot of, I mean, a lot of MCQs
Yeah.
about various sections. That also helped me. And I used to follow like one daily uh, updates website of any IAS coaching. So that that according to me was all that I needed for GK. And uh, that's all. I think that a student should not be too dependent on GK, and many students commit this mistake. They are like very hell bent on scoring more and more. Like out of 35, they believe we'll on CLAT in CLAT we'll score 30 in GK.
30 or 30 plus.
But I believe that's not realistic,
Hmm.
and they have to have a cost benefit analysis of like how much time they're putting in GK vis-a-vis how much time they are putting into other sections. So you have to balance your timing of your preparation per day uh, equally when it comes to GK. So that was what I believe I did in GK.
All right. And what about maths? Your
Okay.
favorite subject?
Yeah. For me, like many students are scared of QT or maths, but maths was literally my favorite subject because uh, right after 10th, although I didn't opt for maths because I believe that it'll take too much of my time of my preparation. That's why I took only humanities, but
Hmm.
that void was filled by QT in maths in CLAT. So I for QT I used to do 3 DIs per day, which I believe is more than sufficient, but that too you have to do with a timer. uh,
Hmm.
I mean, every question you do, every practice you do, you should do with it with a timer. And like when I used to solve the question, I didn't used to like, अगर नहीं हुआ तो छोड़ दो. I used to after I was done with it, see the solution. Okay, how you have solved it, how what the solution is given, or and is there any other way that I can get to the solution quickly? Like can I use the fraction value or any other mixture allegation or anything? For that, your concepts have to be pretty like not very much very good, but moderate level. So, and when you do DIs, don't do like three DIs. I'll do all of three, like all of the three DIs have to be pie chart or line based. Make the practice you do more eclectic. Like one should be case led, one should be line based, one should be arithmetic that is based on any particular topic of the of QT, like of ratio, proportion, or profit loss, etc. So
Hmm.
that's what I think one should do in QT.
All right. And how did you prepare for reading comprehension?
Yeah, in reading comprehension, uh, the mocks that I used to give, I've always scored more in RC. So according to me, RC was my strong section. So I didn't used to put many efforts in RC. I just practiced six passages in RC2 per day. Uh, that too with a timer. And um, in RC, that the questions are not they have in RC the questions are more of a specified idea type, that you have to keep certain details of the passage in mind, that I used to keep in mind when I used to solve the questions of RC, and nothing else, I believe. Only practice and these sections are required.
All right. And lastly, the most favorite subject of all the students, legal.
Okay, so legal. For me, I had certain background before starting with the section, because my father is a lawyer. So
All right.
before my preparation also, I used to help him in his office. I used to read his files with him. We did drafting together in many like when I used to come to him कि बताओ मुझे भी क्या करना है. So for me it was I had a certain taste of it before starting the preparation also. And
Okay.
when I started it, I used to enjoy reading legal passages, because I wanted to know more about the law,
Mm.
how the things work. So for that, I used to for legal too, I used to practice around 7 to 8 passages per day, that too with a timer. And I used to read editorials specifically on law, like on websites like Live Law or Bar and Bench. And I Law Prep also shares us many orders which are important, like judgments,
Mm.
PDFs of those. I used to go through them to get well versed with the legal language. Like it's the legal language is not very similar to the normal English that we speak. So the more you expose yourself to that particular style, the easier it is to comprehend the law given in the exam. So that's what I think one should do in legal reasoning.
So like father, like son, do we have a corporate lawyer in the making?
Yeah, I've think of corporate law, but I believe that I have like 5 years to decide. But I have a soft spot for
Of
corporate
course.
law.
All right. And what was your approach regarding the mock papers?
Okay, from in mock exam, like mock papers,
Mm.
many students are scared कि अभी कोर्स खत्म होने देते हैं फिर शुरू करेंगे मॉक्स कि अभी तो नंबर वैसे ही नहीं आएंगे. What one has to understand is starting में नंबर वैसे भी नहीं आएंगे. Like it doesn't matter if you have completed the course or not. This if like most of the people, they start with marks around 30, 40. My mine was also 65 in the first mock that I gave. That too I gave before I started my coaching. But uh, in our first class also, Anupama ma'am told us ki start giving mocks as soon as you can. So I started giving mocks in my first week of my coaching, when I started preparation. And I like initially I used to give around one mock per week when I had 2 years in my hand. But as the time uh, got less, I increased the intensity of my exams. Mock tests.
Mm.
From one, I moved to two, then three. Like in when I had 1 year, I started giving 3 mocks per week. of
Mm.
out of them, two were of CLAT and one was of AILET.
Yeah.
And by the end, I started giving one mock per day. And I like the most mock is the most important part of our preparation, because it's as close as you can get to a, real paper. um, I had like for me, I had opted for online coaching, so I had to uh, print my mocks separately, and I had to create my environment. But there, like many people who are in offline coaching, they have the privilege to go and give the test in real life surroundings.
Hmm.
First of all, I'll address the online thing. I don't think that one should give online mocks. It's the better, the more you practice offline, the better it is. So for any online student, give mocks and take printouts of mocks and then give the mocks, that too with the proper timing, that keep set an alarm and like if you start at 2 p.m., have a alarm at that time, start the timer of 2 hours, set another alarm as per the uh, alarm timings of our CLAT exam. Because when the bell rings, that half an hour is over, 1 hour
Hmm.
is over, you have that psychological feeling ki abhi itna time hai. And it's the more, and give the mock in a quiet surrounding, sitting on a table and chair, having water beside you. Like make it as close as you can to a real CLAT paper. And in mocks too, or real in CLAT also, though what Sagar sir also told me, that the last half hour, it decides the ranks. The more stamina you have uh, for to sit for 2 hours or 2.5 hours, the better it is. The more energetic you are in the last half hour. Like almost half of the students, they give up after 1 hour. And the more energetic you are at the end, the better you'll score, according to me. And uh, about talking about mocks also, uh, you want, like when you're done with the mock, don't leave it then and there. First of all, check what did you score, in which section did you score the most, in which section you scored the least,
Hmm.
sorry. Make a mock diary in which you have your scores, your analysis, which
And
type of questions in that specific section you got wrong. Like in RC, you got four inferences wrong. Write that down. And when you'll after around 5 or 10 mocks, go back to those that analysis. And when you'll see that in last 5 or 10 mocks, you've uh, specifically uh, how you specifically have more incorrect answers in let's say inferences, then work on your inferences. If your inferences are wrong, are more the intensity of wrong questions in inference is more, then it means that you're not reading the passage correctly.
exactly.
Then that's how you analyze the mock. It's just an example to show how you can uh, do it in all the sections. Like just don't check see your marks ki अच्छा इसमें इतने नंबर आए, इतने नंबर आए, खत्म. सी कि वो नंबर जो नहीं आए वो कहाँ नहीं आए.
कहाँ गए? बिल्कुल.
That's in GK also. If out of topics, you knew five and you didn't know two, then wait, stop your analysis. First of all, research for those topics.
Hmm.
Make notes in your GK GK notes notebook. That's how you analyze your mock to increase your scores. And about scores also, initially everyone will score less. Everyone will score in that 30, 40, 50 category. It'll be your increase in your marks will be slowly and slowly and slowly. And once you there also comes a time that when you reach a plateau, like from 50 you went to 60, 70, 80 and 90, and now you're stuck at 90. And most of the people, they are stuck at 90
Hmm.
or 95. You when you and you want to like break the 100 three-figure barrier.
Hmm.
uh, for that, in that case also, analysis plays a huge role. And like see that अब क्या रह गया, अभी मैंने इतना इम्प्रूव किया, अब और कहाँ कर सकता हूँ, अगर जैसे if like your your score is less in CR, less than the power score to get 100, so then work on CR. If it's less in RC, work on RC. That's how. And try to have consistent scores, which I believe will although not affect your score in CLAT directly, but it will bring up build up that confidence कि मैंने पिछले 10 15 20 मॉक्स में 100 110 स्कोर किए हैं, अब
Hmm.
CLAT में भी मैं वैसा कर सकता
Bilkul, that's such a detailed insight, and of course, it's a marathon. Those 2 hours, they are a marathon, but it's also a sprint, right? And it's very important to learn from your mistakes. So, on that note, you shared with us that 65 was the lowest that you scored in the mocks. What was the highest?
actually 65 was my scores in first mock. The lowest I went was 51,
All
and the
right.
highest I scored was 122.
122. Very good. So, what would you like to suggest to our aspirants and the students all over the country? How do we approach this exam?
Okay, so according to me, CLAT is not an exam of your knowledge. Like it's not based on your knowledge. It's about how calm you are in those 2 hours. It's many people, they study. They like put hours and hours and hours of theirs in this exam, but they're not able to succeed at the end. Why? Because they don't have the right mindset. First of all, stop thinking कि अगर नहीं होगा तो क्या होगा.
Hmm.
Start thinking कि मैं अभी पढ़ूंगा. Have a positive mindset. I know it's easier said than done. I also had that phase कि क्या होगा क्या होगा. I used to call Anupama ma'am at that time कि ma'am बताओ please. But it's more it's like how positive your attitude is. How when you're practicing, you'll have burnouts. uh, First of all, you have to be consistent. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि you put 10 hours today, 2 hours tomorrow, then 16 hours day after tomorrow. It has to be a consistent effort of 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours, or 10 hours, 10 hours, 10 hours, spanning all through your preparation time.
Bilkul.
That's how your scores will improve. That's how your confidence will build up. That's how your concepts will get clearer. That's how your reading will improve. And whenever you study, don't go with this mindset कि हाय 6 पैसेज करने पड़ेंगे, हाय 8 पैसेज कौन करेगा, अभी तो मेरे को टीवी देखना है, ये वेब सीरीज देखनी
Bilkul.
है. देखो, यू सी इट इन दिस वे कि अच्छा 6 पैसेजेस करने हैं, इनमें क्या नई चीज पता चलेगी, क्योंकि ऐसा तो नहीं है कि यू नो एवरीथिंग. इन 6 पैसेजेस से भी मुझे कुछ ना कुछ तो सीखने को मिलेगा ही. अगर मैं जीके पढ़ रहा हूँ, तो ऐसे कितने लोग हैं नॉट preparing for CLAT, but in the world or in India, that who don't know कि हो क्या रहा है आसपास. When you study GK, you know कि आज ये बिल आया, इसके क्या फायदे हैं, इसके क्या नुकसान है. You have, when you study, just think कि I have the confidence कि I know. Many of the people, they don't know. I know. I have my own personality, and I believe CLAT helps you build up that personality.
Bilkul.
It helps you build up your in English. It helps you build up your general holistic knowledge. It helps you build up your reading, which I believe will be very important for us when we go for law, because we have to read a lot. And it's all about your mindset. अगर आपने कंसिस्टेंटली भी काम किया होगा, और अगर आप उन 2 घंटे आप डर गए कि हाय, अगर इफ यू स्टार्ट विद जीके, जीके मुश्किल आ गया, हाय अब तो जीके गया, मैं तो इसी पे डिपेंडेंट था, अब तो क्लैट गया, एनएलयू भी नहीं मिलेगा.
Hmm.
यू थिंक कि अगर अच्छा जीके मुश्किल आया, तो जीके मुश्किल आया तो इसका ये मतलब है कि कोई ना कोई और सेक्शन तो आसान आएगा ही आएगा. तो आई हैव
Bilkul.
टू रीच टू दैट सेक्शन एज फास्ट एज आई कैन, ताकि many of the people who have flustered in the initial minutes of the exam, I surpass them. I get a rank because of that. And in QT also, many of the students, they leave QT ki nahi karni, nahi aati. कुछ तो करो, क्योंकि in this year also, although they said that QT was difficult, the second one DI one DI of them was pretty easy and it had straightforward answers.
It was.
So you have to in those 2 hours you have to keep your mind open. ऐसे नहीं कि मतलब डर डर में, when you're scared your mind also gets like very it gets closed, you don't
That
have any
phobia
ideas.
gets extrapolated.
Yeah,
True. Hmm.
yeah, then you can't even make sense of what's in front of you, and that's what the paper is all about. You don't have to bring in your knowledge, that's only limited to GK section. You have to understand ki kya diya hai, or you have to apply that knowledge, and you can't do that until and unless you have an open mind. So according to me, CLAT is a game of your mind. The positive you are, जितना खुश होके रहोगे ना उतना ही अच्छा है। और खुश होने का एक और चीज है, ये तो आई एम सॉरी, आई एम टेकिंग सो मच टाइम,
No,
बट
no, please.
that's what happened with me. Why I was like my scores in mocks improved drastically because I had a positive environment around me, and that's not limited to myself. It was because of my family members. They made the environment ki अच्छा हमारा बच्चा पढ़ रहा है तो we have to make it positive for him. आज नहीं हो तो कोई बात नहीं, करते रहो. That is I'm very thankful to them कि उन्होंने मेरे को मतलब they used to always encourage when I was down and out. They said कि एमी रोता रहता है, हमें पता है तू कर लेगा. So that helped me a lot. In addition to it, many people, they like friends also have a very positive impact. Like if you have good friends, I'm like, it's if you're very lucky if you have good friends. For me it was the case because when I joined my new school, I was like, मैंने सिर्फ पढ़ना है, मुझे कोई दोस्ती वोस्ती नहीं चाहिए. और during that time my mocks were like not going very well. I used to score like 70 around 70, but when I used to go with them in school, I I used to get a positive environment around me. We used to chat, we used to laugh, and that's what I think you should do. Like, don't take too much of your time, but go with the people you like, the people you love, because of them. I'll also say I'm also very thankful to them because they help me like make they help me make a positive environment. Like I used to be happy around them, and that I used to use that happiness in the hours after my school. I used to study for around 10 hours, 10-12 hours after my school uh, got over at 3. I used to use that happiness to study harder, and that's what I think helped me a lot in CLAT. So it's just that, be happy, enjoy the process. You won't get to study subjects like this anytime later in your life. Feel lucky about it, and feel lucky कि आप पढ़ोगे, आपको आपका नॉलेज डेवलप होगा, आपकी पर्सनालिटी डेवलप होगी, और उसके बाद आप ऐसी फील्ड में जा रहे हो, लॉ में जा रहे हो, उसके बाद भी आपको काफी कुछ नया सीखने को मिलेगा. जस्ट बी हैप्पी अबाउट दैट, जस्ट डोंट वरी अबाउट द एग्जाम. जो एग्जाम, अगर आप खुश रहोगे तो कम पढ़ के भी, मतलब इतना भी कम नहीं कि नहीं पढ़ा, पर इफ यू हैव अ मॉडरेट प्रिपरेशन एंड अ गुड एटीट्यूड, you'll get into any NLU or any top NLU for that matter. So that's what I think.
That's such a positive attitude, and I really feel, very happy, very inspired just by interacting with you, and lovely. So any last minute suggestion, and also आप अपनी सफलता का श्रेय किसे देंगे apart from your parents, of course?
Okay, so like first of all, I'm not saying this because we are conducting this interview. I'm so thankful to Law Prep, especially Anupama ma'am and Sagar sir, because I also gave CLAT 2022 for practice. Anupama ma'am told us, give it for practice, see what happens. And it was the first time I gave CLAT in an offline surrounding. So when the result came, although it was great, I got AIR 158 in that. But the thing was, uh, in the last 15 20 minutes, I was, because of those bells and the rustle and bustle around you, invigilator is saying stuff like uh, 8 time is left, people are like scribbling the
That's an
OMRs,
altogether
and
different atmosphere.
yeah. So I faltered at that time, and I, although the QT in previous year 22 was like so easy, uh,
Mm.
if it had been for my practice questions, I would have been able to do it in around 7 8 10 minutes. But I was not able to do. I only scored 4.5 in that section, in that exam. So when I talked to Anupama ma'am about this, कि ma'am मेरे को ये problem आई, तो then ma'am said कि okay, so when can you come to Jodhpur to give offline to mocks, to give offline mocks, because that was my basic problem ki I didn't have the surroundings around me.
Mm.
She called me. I went to Jodhpur for around 20 days, and I'm not joking. I even talked to this about me and my father. We talked about this, that when I went to Jodhpur, I got like such a great experience from that. Like Anupama ma'am or Sagar sir, they took such good care of me. मैं मजाक like I I got free accommodations. I got so many printouts. Like they didn't even they were like ये भी करो, पढ़ते रहो रोज mock दो इतना. I'm I'm not joking. I'm so thankful to them. I like when I told Sagar sir कि मुझे Indian teacher की classes चाहिए. Like I told them specifically कि मुझे Smriti ma'am,
Mm.
Sachin sir, Sana ma'am और ऐसे teachers की classes चाहिए online में. They said okay, but ठीक है अभी when you reach Palampur, reach back Palampur, we'll get it arranged. And we
Mm.
got that arranged. They got that arranged. And
Mm.
like Anupama ma'am was my mentor right from the starting. Matlab, I कुछ भी doubt I used to have, even though when I went to Jodhpur, I saw the stress she's under. Like she has a lot of work on her plate. Even though, even despite of that, she used to pick up my calls, address my doubts. Whenever I used to face that burnout, I used to call ma'am कि ma'am number नहीं आ रहा, अब मैं क्या करूं? And then she does like she encourages you so much. उसके बाद सही सच्ची में आ जाते हैं नंबर. So I'm so thankful. And in addition, the mocks and this kind of material you get in law prep, it's not too hard, it's not too easy, it's just the right level. So that's what I think. I was really lucky joining LPT because it really helped me a lot in my exam. I mean, a lot.
All right. And I would like to suggest this to everyone who's going to go to Bangalore, because of course Tanishq will be there, and if you're fond of going to Himachal, तो इसके साथ अच्छे से दोस्ती बनाकर रखना, and he'll show you around. And all the very best, beta. And I'm sure with such positive attitude, you'll achieve great heights, and we really are really proud of you.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
All right, all right.
Okay.